All right, we're live.
Hey.
Hello.
Ooh.
Quick cue for you boys. Which Pokemon should I pick as my starter tonight?
Oh shit.
I don't know
Gen
what the
4
options
is
are.
which gen?
I actually don't remember. Is that the one with Piplup?
I think this is the Piplup, Chimchar, and Turtwig?
I think that's my guess.
So I always go a fire starter, but Piplup is the answer for this one.
Well, Piplup is what I did back in the day, so I've played a lot of Piplup.
Yeah.
Yeah, Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup, so we were right.
But then again, we're all wearing blue. Maybe that's a sign.
I always wear blue, though.
Every day you only have blue shirts?
That's it. I have blue. I have Power Ranger syndrome. That's all I can wear is the same color all the time. It's a tragic tale, really.
Medically known as Power Rangers syndrome. Yep. Claims another one.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I'll go Chimchar. I feel like I haven't done Chimchar, and
we all agreed not Turtwig, though, right? Turtwig or whatever.
I'm not gonna write off Turtwig like that.
I don't hate Turtwig. Yeah, I don't hate any of them. I love all Pokemon equally. That's not true.
That's not true.
Yeah, I would have said Piplup if you hadn't already said you already did Piplup as a kid. So
yeah, I did Piplup as a kid. I don't know. I am picking up Pearl because I played Diamond back in the day, so might as well get the other one.
Sure.
I'm getting the dual pack because Reese and myself are here.
Yep,
nice.
Makes sense.
Just in case.
Which one are you getting?
I got Pearl as a kid, so I guess I'm gonna play Diamond this time.
Okay, nice.
Because I ended up picking up Diamond because my roommates got. Sorry, I ended up picking Pearl as a kid because my roommates had Diamond and they wanted the opposite one.
Yeah, so you lost the game of rock paper scissors and had to get the bad one.
Well, because everyone likes diamonds more than pearls.
Yeah, no. Every time there's always one that like outsells the other one significantly.
Yeah, and it was Diamond that gen.
Makes sense. I mean, there are blood diamonds. You ever hear of blood pearls?
Well, it's because the water from the sea washes them off.
Oh, so they're always clean.
But
yeah,
wait,
there you go.
What if they're around a wealthy woman's neck on Crime Alley and she gets shot?
Well, then that's how you get a Batman.
By Joe Chill.
That's how you get Batmans.
No, those are Batman pearls. Those are a little different.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know where I was going with that. What have you guys been up to in the last week?
I had to bring Bagel to the vet this morning at like 4 a.m.
Oh God.
Oh God.
He tore a ligament or something in his shoulder, so he can no longer walk on his front paws.
Jesus.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
We don't know. We legit don't know. He came in. He was fine. He came down here and slept. He was acting normal, but he seemed like he couldn't get comfortable. So he went upstairs around bedtime, and Reese said he was acting weird. He was just standing in front of her, kind of like staring down at the ground.
Was he doing kind of like, you know, when a dog is like wiping its butt on the carpet, but the reverse of that?
No, the inverse of that? What? No.
Yeah, so it's kind of like rubbing its chin because its front paws don't work.
Oh, I see.
Butt's high in the air.
Oh no, not quite like that.
Not quite like that.
But he was like hunched over, like he was trying to take all the pressure off of his shoulders as much as possible, and he was like letting out this like low, like painful meow. So
oh God,
Reese called me up at the very end of the stream, and like right after that, I ran up and I touched him to try to like see how he was, and he growled at me. And I was like, no, he doesn't do that. He's not feeling well. So we took him to the vet, an emergency vet, and they were like, yeah, he like tore a muscle, or he damaged his muscle. So like his front right is like super messed up, and his front left also is pretty bad. We don't know if it's from like someone like an animal biting him, or if he just jumped too high and the impact just damaged him. But
I feel like if it was an animal biting him, you would see marks on him.
The vet's like, yeah, no, your cat's fur is so thick, like you won't see anything there unless we either shave him completely, or we just wait and see if like you see any discharge, like from just like a wound or an abscess. But it was more likely just he strained himself too much. and
Yeah,
that's what it's looking like.
both arms makes me think maybe he like landed from really high up
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
You know, kind
Sure.
of front
And
falls
he
first.
jumps around a lot. He jumps on fences all the time, so I'm assuming that's what it was.
Sure.
So he's upstairs in our bedroom now. We have to give him painkillers every 12 hours or so.
Is he in like a
And
cast or like a wheelchair or
no,
something?
no, he's not in
Okay.
anything like that. He's just lying around on the floor, and he just drags himself where he can because he can't walk really well, but he can walk a bit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So in the process though of that, he has been hiding under the bed all day. So I actually had to take apart the bed to get him out of the bed because he was hiding in the middle of it, and I broke my toe. Well, maybe not broke, but
what?
Oh
yeah.
God.
So I
Can we
slammed
just
my
go back to
foot.
talking about Pokemon? That was so much
Yeah.
nicer.
Today sucks. Today sucks.
Good Lord.
So it's not broken, but like my toenail is got like a big crack down it, like it's and there's
Gee,
blood.
like
God.
it's gonna come off. That thing's
No,
gonna
well,
come
it's
off.
not gonna come off, but like there's definitely like a crack down it. Like, okay, if you pull on this, you will be doing irreparable damage, so don't do that. And there's some blood there, so today's been great. I love today.
Okay. Paul, do you have some like good news for us?
Our
Please?
apartment is very clean right now, and it made me happy to come home to.
Nice. I'm happy for you.
Yeah. I feel bad.
Get well soon, John's household. Everyone in the house.
Yeah.
I got tickets to Anamanaguchi.
Nice.
I saw that.
Which is
Yeah.
pretty exciting.
They put on a good show.
I've seen them before, years and years ago, and then they announced they're doing the entire Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game soundtrack live in concert.
Yeah. That should be cool.
I was like, hell yeah. I was kicking myself. The last time they came to San Francisco, it was with Hatsune Miku, and I didn't go to that show. And I bet that would have been wild.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been neat.
I have kicked myself ever since. So they came back, and I'm like, I love that soundtrack. This will be a real good time. Tickets were so cheap; it was like $25. Hell yeah! So I get to go see them late January.
Cool.
And on top of that, I was lucky enough and finally procured an order for a Switch OLED.
Hey, congrats.
Nice.
Hey, it's still in this weird Best Buy limbo where it's like, hey, you're confirmed, but we're working on your thing. We're working on the order, so I'm really hoping they finish working on the order.
Yeah.
And I had to get them to send it to Best Buy in Southern California because Best Buy is only doing like store pickup, and the earliest they would do it is Monday. But this weekend we're driving down to my girlfriend's parents' place for like Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work out of down there, so I had to pick a Best Buy down there. So wish me luck. Monday I'll be picking up a SWOLED and transferring all my data. Yep.
That reminds me, I got a weird email last night from Best Buy saying they goofed up my order for the Pokemon 2-pack. I better deal with that right now. Yeah.
Well, while you're doing that, allow me to introduce the show. This is the top-down perspective for November 18th.
Yeah.
Which means we are now less than a month away from that new Spider-Man movie coming out, and I am so hyped after that most recent trailer.
Oh yeah, I didn't bother watching people keep talking about it on Twitter, and I keep just like scrolling past it. I just don't want anything to do with it until I can see it.
I'm
hyped.
Quite hyped.
Too hyped.
I am hyped. Yep. Please be good. Like they have a lot of expectations to go up to, but if they hit it, this is going to be like literally a Spider-Verse level of like, that was a fantastic Spider-Man movie. Wow. So I'm just hoping.
Yeah, I'm trying to kill my excitement for it, to be honest, because I'm going to set weird expectations otherwise.
I mean, here's the worst case scenario. It's not good. I go home and I watch Spider-Verse. I have a great Spider-Man time.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
I, by the way, am Sean Booker.
I am Paul Fleck.
I'm John Wheeler.
I'm going to skip John because he's busy emailing. Paul, what have you been playing?
Oh,
Anything?
So, I mean, I'll talk a little bit about Halo with you when it's your turn here, but okay. I guess the thing that I can bring to the table this week is I played that First Soldier mobile shooter battle royale game that came out yesterday.
Wait, what game is this?
First Final
Fantasy VII battle royale.
Oh, that came out? I didn't hear a single thing on Twitter.
It was like
only in Canada
this week.
Yeah, it's been you've been able to download it all week, but the servers went live yesterday at some ungodly time that I wasn't able to play until nighttime anyway.
Okay, so this is...
It's PUBG.
Final Fantasy VII,
it is literally PUBG mobile.
So it takes place in the Final Fantasy VII universe, right?
Yeah.
When does it happen in relation to 7?
I think it's like 30 years or something before that, maybe more. Shinra is basically taking over, and you're playing as a soldier of Shinra against other Shinra soldiers. Okay. It's hard to tell. So it's weird because when you make your character or whatever, it starts off the opening cutscene, the bombing run cutscene from Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then it stops on Cloud, and then it does like a rewind thing where like a whole bunch of like events that you know happened are like going backwards
from Cloud's past.
Well, just from the world's past, yeah, from those games or whatever, and then it just shows like I don't know, Shinra executives doing Shinra things and like having a meeting and like different buildings and like the soldiers forming. It's weird. It's a super
honestly
weird
like
thing.
I'm looking at the average review score. It's got a 3.7 out of 5, which is higher than I would have assumed.
It went up. It was 2.8 last night.
Okay. Still, if you had just asked me like before this came out, what kind of like average player perception do you think this is going to be getting? I would say, well, it seems to be like a dirty cash grab.
It is
in this universe that is exciting for the first time in years. It's going to have a very low score. This is significantly higher than I would have guessed.
Yeah. It is very much, it feels like a Chinese knockoff of PUBG Mobile, which is hilarious in its own right for obvious reasons. And then on top of it, they just put characters that look kind of like they might be from a Final Fantasy universe, but like not really, because it's character creation stuff. So you just make a character that like wears those clothes and stuff basically, and taking place in like some weird ripoff of Midgar. But then you realize, no, this is like an officially sanctioned product that they had like teaser trailers for and announcements for, and this is a Square Enix joint going on here.
I mean, hey, like, let's be honest though, Square Enix does not give a shit about mobile ports of things with the Final Fantasy name on them.
Totally. We were actually joking last night that it's like, this isn't even the worst thing that Square Enix has put out on mobile, and it's at least free.
Yeah. I'm curious, so like, do you get a Buster Sword?
So, yeah. So, there are classes in this game. There's like, you can be, or I can't remember what they call them, styles, I think. The default one that you kind of do the tutorial with is Warrior. So you get a sword.
So is it more like
you were about to say Wario, not Warrior, and I got really excited for a second.
Yeah, that would be pretty good. Sorry, what was that, Sean?
Yeah, so since there's classes, would you say it's closer to like Apex then?
Yeah, it's so yes, in a lot of the like new stuff Apex brings to Battle Royale, it does a lot of that, but it plays and looks like a bad PUBG, if that or like I guess more specifically Garena Free Fire, that like the most popular game in the world that we never hear about because it's popular.
That no one talks about, but is just this shadow juggernaut.
Oh no, people love it everywhere except North America. We're the ones that are out on that one. Yeah, so it's that essentially. There are different classes. The warrior one is the one you start off with as a tutorial sort of thing. There's also a mage class, a monk class, a ninja, and
monk class.
And a ranger.
So
Yeah.
There's guns in this game, right?
No, there's full melee combat, 100%. Yeah, and depending what class you pick, it will change how that melee works. So the warriors thing is big sweeping combos that do a lot of damage if you hit with them, like with your swords and whatnot. Where the monk is fast punches and kicks and like a lot of moving around sort of thing.
Right. Oh, but is there not guns in this game?
There are definitely guns in this game. Yep. So for
so
example,
if you're a monk, you're bringing fists to a gunfight.
No, everybody can pick up guns. Every single person can pick up whatever gun.
Ah, yes, the monk way.
Yeah.
Where he picks up the gun and shoots the guy.
It's actually hilarious. There's like a lot of, you know, that moment in I don't know, like online, but local for sure, where you're with your buddies, you're like, okay, we're doing slappers only. Like, fuck this sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody just get in the middle. We're going to slap each other. And then that one asshole, like Jim or whatever, brings the RP90.
Just rocket launches everyone.
Yeah, exactly, right? So that happened a lot last night in some matches I was playing, where a dude was obviously running towards me because he wanted to do a melee fight, and I just shot him in the head as he was running towards me.
That's the thing.
Because I have a gun. Like, why would I not use
like,
this?
why would you pick the monk class?
Yeah. So they all have a perk ability. The monk's is kind of cool, actually. It creates like a shield for your team or whatever. So I think that's the main thing. But like in the grand scheme of things, the Rangers is literally just in an area around you. You're going to identify every target. That includes other players. So if you're playing a game, if you're playing a game and you don't have a Ranger, you don't want to win that match, because that is a match winning thing when you can see exactly where the enemy is in the last area.
So it is also team based. This is sounding very Apex.
It is three on three. You have to drop together after you like get out of the helicopter. You all jump together into an area, and it is very. People try to play it solo in teams because, of course, they do. They do in every battle royale, but when you win, it's because you stuck together as a team and used your different abilities properly to actually like have the advantage in the gunfight. So yeah.
I mean, honestly, like I was ready to make fun of this game, but I'm a big Apex fan, so another Apex is like, okay, you're ringing the right bells for me.
So here's the thing, is that this isn't a battle royale game made for people that love Final Fantasy. It's made for people that like battle royale games that also like Final Fantasy on the side or whatever, like with some of those skins essentially. And there are kind of skin. You can buy the clothes that like Aerith wears or Cloud, and you can get the Buster Sword looking like skin and shit like that.
Yeah. Is there a battle pass?
There is a main battle pass, yeah, but there's also battle pass like progression system for every class where you unlock more stuff through playing that class as well and kind of leveling it up.
Okay.
And you cannot have more than one of a class on a team. So if like three of you go to like the warrior or whatever, whoever gets first pick will just take that, and then it'll automatically pick a different class for the other ones. Unless you want to change it, you can change it at that point. But
right. Yep.
Yeah.
That's Apex as well for sure.
Yeah. So the funny thing about this game is that it is ridiculous that it exists. It's totally fine and competent if you want a battle royale on your phone, which is a subsect of people that I don't usually talk to very much, but it's one of those.
Yeah. Yeah. My last question is, since they actually seem to care about some kind of lore in the Final Fantasy universe, what is the like reason that all these people are fighting each other?
I think they're fighting for territory. So this right now is season 1 called The Rise of Shinra. And I ignored all of the text-based stuff that tells me story because I don't care. But I'm sure there's like a little bit of something in there. I will say another thing that this game adds. It adds the materia system, and it adds summons as well, because this is Final Fantasy.
Oh.
So there are materias. You can upgrade the materias by collecting more of that same one. So like one of the main ones that everybody wants, obviously, is Cure, because it is a free heal. Like whenever...
Sure.
And you have kind of like an MP gauge of, I think, 9 or 10 slots or whatever, and every materia takes up a certain amount of MP, and that kind of regenerates over time over the match, just so you're not like using nothing but magic all the time. But that's where like the mage or sorcerer or whatever they call it class comes in, where you can empower your materia to do more or whatever. So yeah, there is like a magic thing in there. I haven't seen somebody actually use a summon in a match yet, but they show you how to do it in the tutorial, and it's hilarious. Just the idea of in the like last ring or whatever, in the last little area, summoning Ifrit, who just does this massive fire AoE damage and throws like molten shit around at your enemies.
Well, I mean that's also like an Apex thing. Is hey, the ring gets close enough, I'm going to cause a meteor shower right now, or I'm
exactly.
I'm gonna drop I'm gonna use my ult.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, there is one more thing I should say. It has controller support, and it works very well. So you don't have to use the on-screen. I played about 4 or 5 hours worth last night with a controller, and it was pretty good. Some connection issues here and there. I downloaded it,
so maybe I'll give that a try. I am still shocked that I did not hear a single thing about this coming out.
Yeah, fair enough.
I saw some things on Twitter yesterday. That was it.
Yeah, you can raise chocobos, because of course you can. Kind of has the Pokemon Go thing of you get an egg and then you incubate it, and then a chocobo comes out with different stats, and you can change those stats by feeding it different greens and eggplants or whatever, and you can breed chocobos
just
together.
Mid Battle Royale?
No, this is all like afterwards in the lobby or whatever. You can breed chocobos and stuff like that, but you can summon those chocobos in the Battle Royale to like move around at chocobo stations.
Okay.
Weird. So they're vehicles, essentially.
They are vehicles, yeah, just straight up vehicles. That's all I've been playing.
All right, John, you got a big list here.
Yeah, so I wasn't feeling well for the past week, so I had at least a stream cancel, so I spent a lot of time just kind of playing some games. Let's get some of the smaller ones out of the way. I did a bunch of various arcade games because I just wanted to clear out a bunch of short games on my Switch. So I played Magical Drop 2, which is a puzzle game where you have to match up colors, 3 or more pieces in a row vertically, and then any other pieces of the same color that are touching it pop as well. The more you pop and the more combos you have, you send more garbage over to your other opponents and force their screen down more. So it goes like that for a bit. I played a game similar to that as well called Money Puzzle Exchanger, which was the same kind of game, except horizontal lines work too, and it was a money system where the bubbles you had were either like 1 yen, 5 yen, 10 yen, 50 yen, or 100 yen, or 500, and you had to pair them up to make them into the next currency. So 5 ones would turn into 1 5, 2 5s would turn into a 10. You had to use that system to kind of combo things, and so it was basically adding math into Magical Drop, which was interesting. But the AI was a little too good, so it took a while to get through that. Ninja Commando, just a weird, cheesy, top-down shooter where you are a bunch of ninjas traveling through time to stop the Mars Corporation from taking over time. So you go back in time and like fight robots in World War II. You go fight robotic dinosaurs and cavemen and a bunch of other like random places like that. It was a fun, weird game. Cyberlip, which is a Contra-like game where you just shoot a bunch of robots. It's basically just Contra, but it also, I think it's from like the Metal Slug team before they did Metal Slug. And
what does Cyberlip mean?
Literally, it is a character in the game. There's a robot AI that guards the planet that's gone haywire, and it's sending a bunch of robots down to Earth to kind of wipe out humanity. So you have to go up and destroy the Cyberlip. But then you find out that the Cyberlip was just reprogrammed evilly, and you got to try to. You don't stop whoever did it. You literally just stop the Cyberlip, and then you find out the people that have been telling you to go fight the Cyberlip were actually the aliens from another planet. And you're like, all right, cool. Well, you're doomed to Earth. Thanks for doing our job for us. Okay. And Robot Army is just a weird beat 'em up where 2 people get transferred into robotic bodies and have to go fight a dictator who's sending robots around the world to destroy them.
That's a Neo Geo game, right?
Yeah, same with Cyberlip. Those are actually, I think all those were Neo Geo games, all 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Robo Army was the only one I had heard of before.
Yeah.
I've
No,
heard
it's
of
not. It's not a
Magic.
very good beat 'em up. It's very stiff.
Mm.
I've heard of a money puzzle exchanger.
Yeah, that's a weird one, but like I said, it's fun. I also played Gakido Kintaro's Revenge. This was a Game Boy Advance game that got ported to a bunch of platforms, including the Switch. It's a one. It was originally 1 player, but now it's 2 player beat 'em up. That was honestly really impressive on the Game Boy Advance. Not as much on modern day stuff, but
Sure.
just like a weird beat 'em up where you're a character from an old PS1 beat 'em up called Gakido, and you have to go find out why this town is suddenly like full of demons. And ends up it's like the main character you defeated in the original game came back, and it's just like this weird beat 'em up that, again, a little stiff at times. There's like a specific way you have to fight if you want to get damage in and not get like a game over. But it was, for what it was, it's all right.
Okay.
Lode Runner Legacy, it's just the classic Lode Runner games, but done in a voxel style modern day game. So Lode Runner is you have to get all the money in the maze you're in, but there's enemy robots around you. So you can dig up the earth in front of you or behind you, and you can trap enemies in the dirt. Or you have to dig tunnels out to get like the gold, but you cannot dig directly in front of you. It's angled down. So you have to like plan out the way you dig through stages to kind of beat it. There's been like Lode Runner games since like the NES.
Right.
80s Overdrive, which is what I was playing just then. I just finished. Just a racing game like Outrun. Just drive to the end. You're racing against other people. You can upgrade your car. You have to keep refueling your car, fixing any damage it takes. And you also have to outrun the cops while you're playing the game. It's just like a cheesy 80s arcade game. But the final boss stage sucks because all through the game, it's just drive against your opponents, and if you drive better, you win. The final secret boss of the game, his car is literally faster than yours. So the only way you can win is you get 2 turbo boosts for the entire race. You have to use one of them to get in front of him and then drunkenly drive for the rest of the race so he cannot pass you. You have to keep swerving back and forth on the map so that if he tries to pass you, he bumps into you and gets sent backwards. So I just managed to finish that at the beginning of the podcast.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. Other than that, let's talk about games I'm sure Sean and Paul actually care about. I
care
played
about
Forza
some of those.
Horizon 5.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I feel like you're not a big Forza Horizon or Forza fan.
And this is my first Forza Horizon. And I was thinking about this because I played it on stream first. Yeah, I think my last Forza game was Forza 2 or 1.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't
Cool.
played 2. I think or 1. I think 3 was my first one. That may have been my first 360 game. I think it came with my Xbox.
My 360 came with Forza 2 and Marvel Ultimate Alliance, so that's why I remember playing Forza, but I don't know how much of it I played.
Sure.
Yeah, that seems all right. Some cool like set pieces in it so far. I like the whole dropping out of the plane thing. I like
At the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the open world
What
driving
are
around,
you-
finding the billboards and stuff and the
Are you
roads.
playing it on your Series X?
Yes.
Okay. Looks great, right?
Yeah, it looks really good. I like
Yeah.
all the rain effects and everything that's been on it. It's been nice to play, but like, wow, that's a lot of cars you have to unlock in that game. 564 or something like that.
I mean, you don't have to unlock them, and in fact, the game will you can use any car you want for like any event. They'll just be like, this one's recommended, or if you don't have the right kind of car, they'll be like, here, just buy one, and you can buy bad ones, and then they'll make you play against bad, similar skilled, or not skilled, I should say, similar tuned cars. So like, it is totally just like, hey, you're gonna have fun. Like, don't
Just
even
have
worry
fun.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it so far. I'm gonna keep playing that. I would be playing that right now if I wasn't playing 80s Overdrive to wrap that up.
My favorite weather effect is the fog. Have you guys seen the fog yet?
I have not seen the fog.
I don't think so.
Yeah, for some reason, like it's somewhat rare. I only saw it like this week.
Wow. Okay.
Because like all the lights and everything glow and stuff, and because you're at like big neon events, like it just looks so nice in the fog and whatnot, for sure.
It's such a cool game. I actually forgot
It
to
is.
talk about it last week, but one of the things that was kind of interesting is there's a point in the beginning where you drive through like a sandstorm or something and the visibility is really low. And it gave me an instant PTSD moment of when I had to drive through a blizzard to my parents' house for Christmas.
Oh man! Oh
and
no!
there was a moment where I was just like, oh my God, like I need to stop for a second because that was way too real. That was just took me back to a bad moment.
I think that explains why it felt so weird driving through that for me too. That must be what it was kind of invoking. Like, I feel uncomfortable and I can't think of why.
Right? It's crazy. But
I didn't have that.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
Lucky you.
Yeah. I mean, you still have like the arrows on the ground, so it's not like you're like totally
I wasn't like in a ball on the floor crying. Like I just needed a second to like be like, oh geez, that was fucked up.
That intro set piece is super fun, and then you like launch yourself into a race that's already happening, and like the announcers are just like, "This is awesome."
Yeah, it's very cool. It's a good intro.
Yeah, no, John, you should definitely keep playing it. This is a really good one. I just saw before we started going live, Xbox announced it had hit 10 million players, and it's like the best launch for an Xbox game ever.
Yeah, which is insane.
Insane to think about. So this one's doing really good, and it deserves it. Like, it is a really fine-tuned racing game. It is a lot of fun. There's a lot in there, and with it being your first one, you're not going to have any of the issues I had where it's kind of diminishing returns. Like, it's all going to be brand new for you. So
yeah,
I think you're going to have a blast if you keep playing it.
Nice. All right, the last game on my list, Guardians of the Galaxy, the brand new release that came out. I guess it's been a couple weeks now at this point for that one.
It was early October. I want to say it's been about a month.
Yeah, it's been a month-ish, I think.
I actually just picked this up today because
it's on sale right now.
Xbox's Black Friday sale went live, so it was like $39 or whatever. So
yeah, there's a bunch of stores selling it for about the same price too. That game is way better than I expected, honestly. Been enjoying that.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing from everyone is a sleeper hit out of nowhere.
It has some weird quirks. It's a bit awkward at times. But like, as someone who enjoyed the Guardians of the Galaxy movies and liked the characters and their banter, this game has so much character banter in it and personality from that alone.
Yeah, now I'm remembering back to like kind of the podcast that we're talking about when it came out. I feel like the one downside people were saying is like, get ready for a lot of talking.
They do not shut up. They do not. So if you don't like, here's the thing. If you didn't like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, don't even bother. Because it is that. Like, it's the same banter, the same energy they have through that. It's all different actors doing all the characters, but they all basically have their personalities from the movies, which I guess was also from the comics. So, like, Rocket's super protective of Groot. Everyone shits on Star-Lord. Drax doesn't get any jokes because he takes things super literally. And Gamora's like this super smug, like, assassin that can kind of do anything.
I have heard that, like, not Groot, Drax specifically, like the character, and he gets like the best moments in this game. Like, they do some really cool character.
Drax has been pretty great. I think he may be my favorite of the 5 so far, just from the things he's gone through. I'm only in like 4 or 5 chapters, but there's constantly he keeps like treating Peter like the leader, but also keeps calling him an idiot. There's one point where I had to make a choice, and it's like, okay, who's actually like leading the deliberations on this? Is it gonna be Star-Lord or is it gonna be Drax? And I picked Drax, and he's like, you know what, Peter Quill, you were right. You were terrible at negotiation. And then he just goes on his own thing, and it was absolutely hilarious.
Good.
You have to constantly make choices in this game. Like, you'll just be walking around, the characters will talk, and they'll start fighting amongst each other, and you can either interject one way or the other, or just let them keep arguing. So they'll be like, oh, well, like, Gamora screwed up our parking job. Like, no, it was Rocket's problem, and you can choose to take one side or the other, or you can just let them bicker. And there's dialogue for every option. Even when I'm looking around for secrets to find in the stages, like, they will keep giving you new dialogue. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if like at least a third of the game disc or the game install file is just dialogue, because I have not bumped into any repeat dialogue, which is insane considering how much they talk.
It's great.
Cool. Yeah.
But I like that there's like, so I never played Mass Effect. Something tells me like part of this is how Mass Effect would work because there's been a lot of decision makings. Like, there's one point where you have to choose which item you are hiding in a cargo, and the other one has to be left out for the police to find. And it's just like, okay, which one is going to get us in the least amount of trouble? Like, okay, let's save this, but will this have dividends later on the road? They're like, okay, this item will like let us upgrade our guns later on. This item might get us more money potentially, but it also might get us in trouble because it's a biological hazard. You
Yeah,
have to like,
Mass Effect would
yeah,
have stuff like that, but then it would also have, you would make the choice of like, I could sell this to you, but I know you're a bad guy, and then your own character would get negative points basically, or bad guy
yeah.
points.
I
And
there's
I don't
definitely
think I've heard anything like that.
there's been like trust. I've had to earn characters' trust through my decisions. Then I could
Okay.
do other sneaky things. Like at
Okay,
one
yeah,
point,
that's yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, at one point I had to be like, I was on this character's good side for a while, and then when another character was on their case, I tried to cover for them, and they trusted me enough to actually like help me out with it. So I've got an item now that I guess will be handy later on in the game. I have no idea if it will be or not. But like,
Right
there's been a
on.
lot of like, you'll see like like the Telltale style, like, oh, this character will remember this, or like this character
Yeah.
trusts you, or like
Yeah.
because you made this decision, you have to pay this fine, et cetera, et cetera. And the whole game takes place like at the very beginning of them forming the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like Gamora's only been with them for a couple months. Drax apparently is known as the guy who killed Thanos. There's like this whole like story, like everyone on the team is like fairly well regarded except for Star-Lord, and you only play as Star-Lord, so all the characters are shitting on you constantly.
Good.
I think if there's a
Yeah.
downside about this game is that you have to play as the least interesting Guardian of the Galaxy the entire time because you are just Star-Lord.
Sure.
I mean, that
Yeah.
gives you more time hearing the interesting people talking.
That's true.
Otherwise, no one would want to talk to Star-Lord if he was not interesting. So
Yeah.
if you get to play kind of the straight man, which is
Yeah, exactly. And then there's like
the
a lot
straight
about
man
like
can be funny themselves.
they'll do like a lot of flashbacks to like how he even got to space in the first place and like about his family. Um, in this universe, Star-Lord is a band's name that he liked right before he got sent to space, so that's why he calls himself Star-Lord. He literally has like their iron-on logo on his jacket.
Okay.
There's a bunch of costumes you can get. The first costumes you get for everyone are their like movie counterparts.
Makes sense.
And then you
yeah.
get like all the other ones from I got one for Groot that was like their 5 horsemen of the apocalypse. So he looks like demonic and like glowing red. It looks really
Nice.
cool.
That's cool.
Gameplay is interesting in that when you get in combat, it's like like an encounter essentially. You get in and there's like groups of enemies you have to fight all in one in waves. You've got your blasters, which have a cooldown and which have an active reload system on them, like gears, which gives you better like power-up shots. You eventually unlock elements for your shots, which are a separate meter. You can command each member of the Guardians to actually like do a certain move, and they all have different benefits. There's stagger gauges. There's like defense buffs. There's like insta kill moves. There's tag team moves. There's even like one of the interesting abilities that if you get a momentum meter, and if your meter is high enough, you can press in the trigger buttons and you do a huddle with all the Guardians, and they tell you how they're feeling about the fight currently, like if they're doing really bad or if they're doing really good, and you'll see like words pop up in the background, and whichever option you choose as your response will either buff everyone or just buff you or completely fail and no one gets buffed. So it's like a weird momentum thing. And
Okay,
the
that's
sound,
cool.
yeah, and the soundtrack for the game is also very copyright heavy. Like it's all 80s music.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
We'll
you
talk
can there's
about
a
it
streamer mode you can turn off. But yeah.
I was just gonna say we'll talk about it later when we do the Game Awards. It was nominated for like best soundtrack of the year, which is kind of odd if you think of
Yeah.
like, okay, I mean, anyone can put together a Spotify playlist called Best Songs of the '80s.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's
does that
kind of what it
deserve an
is.
award. But I mean, it's still nice to hear for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so there are some original songs, and there's a streamer mode which disables all that, but you can tell like that was the thing, was just putting all that in there. Even when you do the huddle, like he'll end the huddle by turning on his Walkman, and a random 80s song will start playing. But it's weird because there's stuff like "Wake Me Up Before You Go," and like there's also "Never Gonna Give You Up," the Rickroll on there, so you could
course.
just
Great.
be in like this tense boss fight, and then suddenly like Rick Astley starts playing. It's
I mean,
weird.
yeah, that sounds intentional.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Totally,
If
yeah.
I don't know if you know, if you put this streamer mode on, does it just silence it or does it put in
No.
like
So
other music.
remember that band I mentioned, Star-Lord, that he's named after?
Yeah.
They actually put together a 12-track album
Oh
of
God.
Star-Lord. So
That's
there is
so good.
literally like a hair metal Star-Lord album that you can listen to. There's a bunch of like flashbacks where you listen to it, and it can also come up in the actual music you listen to.
That's
so I'm
so
assuming
good.
that's just what comes up instead of the 80s music.
Love it.
That's great. And this is the Deus Ex team, isn't it?
Eidos
believe?
Montreal, yeah.
Yeah. Good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to play more of it. I haven't touched it for a couple days, but the place I left off was actually really interesting, so I kind of want to get back to it at some point. There's like a mission where it's straight up you have to like sacrifice one of the members, and you get to choose which one you sacrifice, and doing that changes so many other elements for it. I've seen. It's just an interesting game.
That's cool.
And
I'm glad.
it's actually making me also really want to play Mass Effect.
Yeah, that I'm curious. So like this does definitely sound inspired by Mass Effect. And you know, if you were to go play it, you'd have to like keep in mind that first Mass Effect is old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like kind of taking a step back in terms of like quality and polish. So I almost think you would feel like let down.
I think so too, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was playing the Legendary Edition. I played a bunch of 1, and it's like this is an old game, but a lot of it was like I know how good it gets. I love just being around these characters. It's like the nostalgia is kind of driving me.
Yeah.
But you're going to be coming at it from like almost a cynical outlook of like, why doesn't this look as good as Guardians of the Galaxy? So I don't know. I don't know, but Mass Effect is great if you stick with it.
Okay. But yeah, no. Guardians of the Galaxy is surprisingly fun. Been enjoying it. And that's all I played.
Cool. I have been playing Halo Infinite. This is kind of somewhat newsy. 343, they delayed Halo Infinite a year. It's coming out December 8th, and then on Monday they're like, oh, whatever, let's just drop the multiplayer. It's out now. Which is kind of a cheeky way of them getting all that like good fanfare back.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But
I mean, it also was the 20th anniversary of Xbox, so like if there was any day to do it, that was the day.
Yeah.
Right. And to be fair, like the full thing is not out yet until December 8th. The campaign, that's when that comes out. And it does say Halo Infinite multiplayer beta technically, but it has achievement points in there. You can put money into it. So I'm trying to I'm not a huge Halo multiplayer guy. I usually just bounce off the multiplayer pretty quick because I want to get to the campaign. But I wanted to give it the real college try, so I bought the battle pass, and I'm like, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna really try and get into it. I will say, like, it's a ton of fun. Like, this is an extremely sharp game. I don't know how much different it would have been a year ago if they had come out, but whatever they put into it, like, it looks great, it sounds great, and it is just a lot of fun.
I've been hearing a lot of positive buzz about this, like from people that are like, I haven't played Halo in forever. This is great.
It's pretty
Which is
crazy.
interesting because Halo 5 was pretty much slammed a ton. So
yeah, I mean, it was just a different thing. Like they were doing their whole like card system back when a lot of games were doing card systems all the time. But yeah, this is just like they kind of just went back to the drawing board and they just made a really good new modernized Halo. Everything in there is what you'd remember, and then some smart tweaks to it and whatnot. Also, it's quite a great package for free to play. Like, that's kind of the crazy thing. Like this multiplayer is free, and as such, like I was doing crazy numbers. The one statistic I heard was it was in like it was around like 200,000 plus. It was in the top 3 for like games on Steam alone, not including the on Xbox or on the Microsoft PC platform. So a ton of people are playing it when it first came out. Yeah, so I'm liking it quite a bit. There's a bunch of news going around about how the battle pass, the progression system is pretty bad, which I agree with. For those who don't know, they're going to have seasons that are 3 months long, except for this first season is going to go until May. So they're really going to try and like iron things out so that when they do their like next proper length season, they've kind of fixed a lot of the things. The problem with the progression is You don't get any experience towards like that battle pass, the free or the premium one, unless you complete these challenges, like the daily or weekly challenges that you would expect from like a battle pass kind of system. But that means if you're just playing a game and you just like do well or whatever, you don't get anything for how you performed. You only get stuff for completing
Yeah.
challenges. Which, and I haven't seen it exactly myself. Well, I may have seen it in one scenario, but I can't confirm it. But I've been hearing reports of a lot of people are kind of joining games, doing the challenge, and then quitting,
Yeah.
which is also annoying. So they have said that developers have come to Twitter saying we're looking into the progression system and fixing it, and they have changed some stuff. Or sorry, they've announced some changes that should be going into place later this week. It hasn't changed specifically like you will get points towards your level for just playing and doing well or staying through a whole match, but they've been making some of the challenges easier to do, because some of them have been like weirdly like gun specific and quite hard, and when you're already having so few options of how to progress through the battle pass, making them hard is even worse. um with that said, though, like the battle pass was $9, so I was like, I'm gonna buy the battle pass. Battle passes give me more enjoyment because I have an extra carrot on the stick towards going through it. Paul, earlier you said you had been playing some of the multiplayer.
I did. My thoughts are quick and easy. I've never really liked multiplayer in Halo, and I don't like this very much.
Okay,
That's fair.
Yeah, I've been pretty just kind of neutral on it, and I'm having fun with this one. Get in there with a buddy and dick around on some warthogs and whatnot, and
Sure.
I'm liking it. In contrast, I'm also playing Battlefield 2042.
This wouldn't load for me, so I'm interested to hear about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So because I have like Game Pass Ultimate, I have like a 10-hour trial.
Yeah, I have that as well, but the app on PC, the Xbox app and the EA app weren't speaking together properly, and I just gave up on it.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm just not a Battlefield guy because like the core idea of these are giant maps, 128 players, like it sounds cool on paper, but a lot of the time it leads to, if you don't get on a vehicle, you're going to run for like 2 solid minutes trying to get to a control point, and you'll probably get sniped because you're going to run through like an open area because you're just trying to get somewhere quick.
Sure.
So it's really interesting kind of comparing the two. Like Halo, you get in, you're like immediately going up against people. Like the time to fun is real fast and real snappy. Whereas Battlefield, like the time to fun is so much more spread out. I will say though, like 128 people on the map, that leads to some ridiculous stuff. Like you'll just be like in a firefight, and all of a sudden, a hovercraft comes flipping over the ridge and collides into your battle, and that while a helicopter crash lands beside you, and that stuff, like the craziness involving that is fun.
That's what
But
people
it's kind
like
of few and
about
far
those.
between, because for every time one of those happens, you're running for 2 solid minutes trying to get to a control point, hoping you don't get sniped. And a lot of people are sniping because these maps are so big. And also the
Sure.
time to kill is real short. So and I'm not very good at Battlefield, so I'm getting killed pretty quickly, and it's like, man, this is annoying having to keep running.
Do they not have
Not-
like the squad mode and like being able to join in on your like squad mates or any of that stuff?
Yeah, so you are set up in a squad of 4 at all times, and you can spawn on your teammates, which is good, and that'll get you to the fights a little faster.
Yeah.
But for example, like I played the 2 modes. One was like called like Hardline, the other one was Conquest.
Yeah.
I played
Conquest is the one
the
I
most.
like. Yeah.
And so Conquest, you're trying to take over control points.
Yeah.
And then whoever has like the most control points, sorry, whoever has the least control points, their like total number ticks down, and whoever gets to 0 first loses.
Right.
So let's say your teammate just scored a control point. It's like, cool. Now I guess I will spawn by my teammate, or I'll spawn at that control point, and I'll run for 2 minutes to the next one and hope I don't get shot. And you're kind of slowly battling your way there, but a lot of the times, like if your teammates are not in the correct position, or maybe they're in a vehicle that's full and you can't spawn a vehicle right now, it's just, all right, I guess I'm gonna hoof it over this sandy hill, and hopefully no sniper shoots me. And it does end up leading to that quite a bit, which is less than ideal. Weather effects are kind of cool. You'll just see like a tornado appear out of nowhere, and you have to deal with the tornado while you're fighting. I will say though, like the best parts of the 128 mode is when you first start and everyone's like near each other and they're all just rushing.
Yeah.
Like it feels like that Titanfall 2 moment where the one level where you launch the Titans onto the beach and you're just all there ready to go. Like that's cool when there's like 64 of you guys running straight ahead and you're like, look at this huge team I'm a part of. Let's go, guys. Let's do this.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then the other best part is when you do get into a smaller condensed zone where there's a lot of people shooting because you're like crouched behind some cover and there's bullets going off nonstop.
Yeah.
You're actually like, holy shit, I don't even know what to do right now because if I stick my head up and try and find someone, I'm going to get killed immediately. Like it is actually like there is so much shit going on around me. And that stuff is super cool.
Yeah.
But again, those pieces are few and far between. It's a lot of running and trying to get to that thing. So I think I just have to get a little more familiar with getting access to the vehicles. I definitely need to figure out how to fly the helicopter because I tried it once and immediately crashed, which I'm told is the Battlefield experience.
Yeah,
so
it kind of is.
I've heard the same.
Yeah.
A character has a wingsuit, which I definitely want to try wingsuiting around because I've seen people like jumping off roofs and wingsuiting down below us and whatnot. And yeah, so I'm glad I have this trial to try it out.
Yeah.
And I will say any map that is very sand focused, I think looks like garbage. The others all look good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree. There's a few maps in, I think it's just called Battlefield 1, the one that takes place in World War 1, that like
that's the name.
Those maps were pretty good and they were sandy, but they weren't like my favorite either. So yeah, I don't disagree.
And then the last game I've been playing this week is Returnal. I finally jumped in and started that.
Nice.
That game is super cool. For those who don't know, it's made by Housemarque, makers of like kind of like arcadey dual joystick shooters, and now they wanted to make like a third-person shooter action game. And it's pretty cool how they combined like the stuff you would expect from a Housemarque game into this other genre.
Isn't it Housemarque? Or am I thinking of a different studio?
Oh, I don't think there's more than one. I thought it was just called Housemarque. But maybe it's Housemarque. I don't know. I guess I haven't really heard anyone say the name. I feel like I've heard journalists say Housemarque.
That's Housemarque.
Housemarque. Okay, maybe I've been saying it wrong. It's cool. So like, not only will all the enemies shoot in like wide spreading orbs that you would need to like dodge in a dual joystick shooter, which is silly. But like whatever, they're like space aliens. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
There is even like a progression system involved with you not getting hit. So there is actually like a combo system built into how you fight, which is pretty interesting. The more damage you do while not getting hit, the stronger your gun will get, and the more abilities your gun will get. And then once you get hit, it resets down to 0. So you have to like build up a combo again. All the while you're in this like horror nightmare planet that's constantly raining and looks almost like a weird Cthulhu space demon place. It is like a looping game because apparently every game in 2021 is a looping game.
Yeah.
So, procedurally generated, and you're working through this, and you come across your dead bodies from beforehand and audio messages from your past self that you don't remember recording and yada yada. So there's a kind of a cool, interesting story going on. And there's a weird version of your house there, and it kind of looks a bit like PT when you go inside of it and you're looking at like pictures and what's going on. Why is your house here? And yada yada, and weird scary noises upstairs. It's almost too scary for me at some points, but I managed. So far I've been brave enough. I will say it's hard. I have not been able to beat the first main boss. I think his name is Freak or Frick.
I have heard it is a difficult game.
It's hard, yeah.
Literally everybody that's played it. So specifically,
it's because like, I don't want to take Freak on until I've like gotten a bit of loot and gotten a better gun, but every time I go into a new combat encounter, it's like, man, each one of these are hard, so I'm risking like possibly getting to a point where I'm at freak with very low health because there's just not a lot of health upgrades. I feel like I'm really waiting for, like, in Hades, when you finally have a way to heal yourself and then you can upgrade that. I have no way to heal myself. I feel like it's like, that's got to be coming, right? Like, I play roguelikes all the time, and one of the first things they give you is a healing item, and where's my healing item? Maybe after freak I get a healing item. I don't know, but I feel like I need that. I've died like 3 times in a row at freak. I've gotten him down to like the last of his 3 forms that you have to go through. But I just don't have a way to heal myself, so I just don't have enough health for the most part.
Sure.
It is cool though. It looks so good, and the DualSense controller is so cool because it's constantly like raining, so you're getting like pitter patters on the controller like at all times, and it does a really good use of the like the trigger system. So when you can hold down the left trigger halfway to look down the sights. And if you hold down the full way, it'll unlock a secondary alt fire mode for whatever gun you have, which could be like a grenade launcher in your pistol or something like that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm really liking it. And I guess slightly news related, their like 2.0 patch just came out earlier this week or last week, and now you can actually save mid-run. That was the one thing that a lot of people were complaining about, is there was no way to like pause a run.
Yeah.
And House Marquis, like wording around that was, well, the PlayStation has like a sleep mode, just use that. That doesn't help if you have to like turn your PlayStation off, or like you have a power outage or something. Got to move your PlayStation. So now you can actually save it, which is nice.
Yeah. Good change.
Yeah. So that's all I've been playing. Let's do some news.
No lacking of it this week.
There's a lot. Yep.
Busy week.
Let's go through better and for worse, as we'll find out. Let's go through some short stuff at the start here. As mentioned on Monday, Xbox had a 20th anniversary live stream. This kind of talked about their legacy and whatnot, and a lot of Halo. Announced like a Xbox story of Xbox. Power On is the name of it. A 6-part documentary series. I think I might watch that. I might hear some cool tidbits of behind the scenes of Xbox. That seems kind of interesting. They also announced the final update to their backwards compatibility catalog. And it's 70 more games, a bunch of them with the frame boost feature, and they said that'll be it for it. It sounds like they've done every game they could have that didn't have weird licensing issues around it.
Good for them, man. That's a big task.
For sure. And then during that's when they dropped the Halo multiplayer. And there was rumors like the whole weekend that might be coming out. So it wasn't a huge surprise, but definitely good to see.
Sure.
Another separate Xbox announcement is that the cloud gaming is now available on consoles. So if you have a launch Xbox One, you can play, so far it's select supported Game Pass games running on Series X hardware over the internet, which is a pretty cool thing to think about.
Totally.
Multiverses.
Yeah, I'm just looking at
Warner
it right
Brothers
now.
Eat 'em Up.
Yep.
Has officially been revealed.
Smash Brothers like.
Yeah.
So this was rumored for what, like the past 2-3 months? Like, we've known about this for a while.
I want to say it's been a month. And those like character things came out. Either way, it's coming to PS4, 5, the Xbox Series, and PC in 2022. No Switch port, but that's gotta be coming, right?
Maybe, I don't know, but that's fucking dope. Cross-platform support.
Yeah. I think the big kind of interesting thing that'll set it apart is it's going to be free to play.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Kind of like Brawlhalla.
Yep.
I like Brawlhalla, yeah. And then I guess the other thing I was seeing a lot of headlines is Ultra Instinct Shaggy is in there.
Yep. Ultra Instinct Shaggy. Arya Stark from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Arya Stark is in there, which is just like a weird thing to fit in there. Going back to Shaggy for a sec, though, they got the voice actor from the movie, which that's kind of awesome.
That's
No,
good.
Matthew Lillard's been doing Shaggy's voice for years. Like
Okay,
he took
well-
over for Casey Kasem.
Okay. I did
But
not.
he also was the live action actor for Shaggy
Yes,
in the live
yes.
action movies. So
That's. I think that's a great get. Good for them.
Yep.
yeah, they got Kevin Conroy for Batman. They got a lot of voices that currently do those characters. So
You can currently sign up for a playtest on their website. Saints Row, the reboot of the Saints Row franchise, has been delayed into fiscal year 2022-2023.
ooh,
It was supposed to come out late this February.
Yeah,
so it
a
sounds like
few
that's
months
a pretty
from
big, pretty big delay.
Yeah.
Hey, good for them. I'm glad they're able to get such a big delay. I want better games, so I'm always fine with the delay.
Yep. I agree.
Sega announced 3 clones.
what?
Wait, what?
Yep, introducing Yakuza, Shenmue, and Sonic the Hedgehog unisex clones.
Oh, Cologne. Okay,
Oh, because now it makes more sense.
I heard clone. CLONE.
I say that makes equally as much sense. What do you think these smell like?
Sonic is chili dogs
Oh man.
But why would you want to smell like chili dogs?
Oh,
because you
it's
like Sonic the
delicious.
Hedgehog that much.
Yeah.
No, don't do that.
Shenmue smells like the docks.
Yeah, a warehouse or
Just like
something.
fish. Yeah.
Yep,
A
totally.
warehouse.
And Yakuza smells like an arcade because that's
trying to
just
see-
where you spend all your time. It smells like a karaoke bar.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Let me. They do have descriptions for them. Let me read you the Sonic the Hedgehog one.
Okay.
Add a gorgeous, refreshing scent to your everyday life with this invigorating Sonic the Hedgehog, quote, blue blur unisex cologne. Given the seal of approval from the famous Speedy Hedgehog himself, this cologne boasts an aroma of fresh citrus, a zing of grapefruit zest, and exotic lemon and lime, topped with the scene of the ocean breeze and chilled melon fade. Take pleasure in the rich bass tones of leather, suede, and cedar.
What? Is this all still Sonic?
This is Sonic.
Honestly, it sounded
a bunch
like
of those made sense, and then I'm like, oh wait, what leather?
it sounded like Febreze at first. Like, have you ever smelled like a Febreze before or something?
Yeah.
It sounded like it smelled like that, like a citrusy, just like mist.
I might as well just go through all these because they're all complete nonsense. Here's the Yakuza one.
Okay.
Created for the night.
Okay. I can already
This is
smell it.
Batman's cologne of choice.
I can already smell it, actually. Yeah, go on.
If you can, for those listening, if you can already smell it, it means you're having a stroke.
Please see a doctor.
This bold and intriguing Yakuza / Ryu Gotoku bourbon and smoke unisex cologne will have
Bourbon
you
smoke.
smell.
All right. All
Will
right.
have you smelling like the Tojo clan's finest crime boss.
Okay.
Smell like
Which-
crime.
Which to me just makes me think sweaty.
Yeah,
Also
it's
sweat.
like
That's what
kind
I was
of.
gonna say. Originally, is the actual Yakuza scent is just sweat because you're just beating
Yeah.
the shit out of people. So
Lots
you're
of
always sweaty.
well-dressed, expensive shirts covering sweaty.
Yeah.
This fragrance flaunts a deep and mysterious scent of antique oak, cedar wood, beeswax infused with smoky bourbon,
Okay.
leathery rose, and
What is with the
scorching
leather?
pimento.
What is with all the leather smell?
I feel like leather is a pretty typical like men's cologne smell. Not that
I guess.
Yeah,
I feel
I
if it's the Yakuza one better than Sonic.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about that. To be fair, in regards to anything Sonic, I would say I don't know what to tell you about that. All right, let me do the Shenmue one, everyone's favorite.
Great.
Smell like a forklift. Smell like a forklift.
Rebellious and addictive, this exhilarating Shenmue tobacco and gold
Oh, that sounds
unisex
terrible.
cologne hits all the right smells to get the likes of Ryo Hazuki nodding in appreciation. Enjoy
Okay.
this rich fragrance with top notes of clashing cardamom and bergamot, smoldering golden tobacco, deep orris, whatever. Okay, and a strong patchouli base.
Oh, gross. Okay.
Interesting choice there.
Each of
I
these
think
are
I
all
think
selling.
the Yakuza one sounds the best out of the three.
The
Maybe the
Yaku-
Sonic one too.
The Yakuza one sounds just like a maybe cheap, high class cologne ripoff. Like,
I'm
that's
sure that's
fine.
what they all are.
Well, Sonic
These
still
are
sounds like a Febreze to me, with citrusy whatever.
They all will run you £30 if you're buying it in the UK.
Oh yeah, they're cheap knockoffs of real cologne. Yeah, okay, sure.
This one, Paul, are you able to talk about this? Because I was not following it, but the OBS stuff that happened.
I
I can talk
can.
about this one if Paul can't.
Either or.
There's a company called Streamlabs that for the longest time kind of just was where you went, so like shit would pop up on your screen when people like subbed or followed or whatever you wanted to set it to. And then they kind of like grew and started stealing shit from other companies, even though other companies said please don't, and then they got caught. That's what happened.
Here's the thing. I don't think this was the first time they got caught. This is just the time they got caught the most.
Yeah, this is
I
the
feel
time
like
they got canceled.
I've heard
or whatever.
Streamlabs stuff in the past with them, but like
Streamlabs has been shit for a while.
Up.
Yeah. I guess the big thing here is, so this all started because they literally just stole some like copy from what's the company called again?
Light Screen or something like that. Something.
Yeah, something like that. They like, it's not even just the layout, because layouts can be similar. That's whatever. It's literally word for word an exact copy paste.
They took the reviews and then changed the names of the reviewers, but kept the words of the reviews mostly the same.
It's so weird. It was like a literal copy and paste job. So that they were just like, next, they made some like snarky tweet about, can I copy your homework? Yeah, but just don't make it look too similar, and then clown face or whatever.
I did see that one, yeah.
But what this did is it started the domino effect of, I guess a bunch of people coming out. The big one is OBS strictly said, as Streamlabs OBS was coming out slobs, they said, please don't use our branding or our name in your thing. And they just ignored that and was like, no, Streamlabs OBS, that's what you can download now or whatever. And that's the thing that I think pissed off the most people. Everything else has just been kind of a, like...
Elgato was another one they apparently ripped off too, so...
They stole the Stream Deck layout and programming for their, like, Streamlabs thing you can download on your phone that does kind of the same thing. Yeah, they've been stealing a lot of shit from a lot of different people for a long time. They stole the Capagen explosion thing. They stole the Muxi Cup. They've been stealing shit and calling it their own for a long, long time. And the reason this came out is because they partnered with Twitch for some, like, Xbox gaming thing or whatever. And people are just like, you shouldn't be allowing this because they're a bunch of fucking thieves, essentially. And that's kind of where we're at right now.
Okay, thanks for the news bit. Now it's time for the, like, insane news hour.
This stuff has made me feel real bad all week. But, yeah.
Activision.
Oh, that's a lot of links.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
How many were there?
So, yeah, I kind of was like, collecting tweets as new things were happening throughout the week. So we have kind of a chronology here. Activision was in the news all week because everyone's favorite CEO, Bobby Kotick, is a piece of shit.
Yes.
As we've been following, as we've been talking about on the show for months now, all throughout the summer, numerous sexual harassment and equality cases, and Activision being sued by so many people. And then at the start of the week, the Wall Street Journal put out a big, long report that they had been working on and talking to people formerly or currently at Activision. Activision CEO Bobby Kotick knew of rape allegations, but kept them quiet, a new report says. And on top of that, there's crazy scenarios in here of like of Bobby Kotick telling an employee that he would have her killed. He kept an exec from being fired after a sexual harassment claim went through, and didn't tell the board of the alleged rapes and other misconduct. So that was the start. A bunch came out that Bobby Kotick knew about all this shit going down and didn't do anything about it.
Yes.
One that was really stuck out to me that was pretty crazy that we talked about a while back. Fran Townsend was one of the kind of higher ups at Activision who came out when a lot of this first over the summer, when a lot of the Activision Blizzard stuff first coming out, to try and calm things down and saying like, no, women at this company, they do totally fine. And it was this totally kind of shitty response from her that was kind of backhanded, and she eventually ended up like deleting her Twitter account and stuff from the backlash and whatnot. It was revealed this week Bobby Kotick wrote that and just said it has to have Fran's name on it. And then, if you remember correctly, when this company-wide email did go out and all the backlash happened, Bobby Kotick made a statement saying, "Oh, that was a pretty poorly worded and ill-toned message from her. That was not very good." And learning that he wrote it himself but put her name on it is insane to think about. Just like supervillain levels of evil coming from this man at this point. It goes on.
Yeah.
So when this first happened, I believe this was Tuesday. A bunch of Activision Blizzard employees staged a walkout in the wake of the Wall Street Journal article detailing all of what was going on with Bobby Kotick, and with demands that Bobby Kotick getting replaced. So a walkout happened on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Following that, it was announced. So we talked about, what was her name? I believe
Jen O'Neill.
Jen O'Neill.
Jen O'Neill. And we were saying how hopefully she got a just trying to be positive. Hopefully she just got a better deal. It's like, yeah, why wouldn't she leave this company that's coming down? And it's unfortunately the cynical thing.
Right, so let me give you a bit of quick backstory. In August, Activision named Jen O'Neill the first female co-head of World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Next month, she sent an internal email criticizing the company's top management and recounting her own experience of harassment. Before we had heard of this email, she left the company. Yeah. I remember us talking on the show, that's not a great look.
It's not.
Your first female lead during this case of inequality throughout the company, and she leaves. And I remember saying to myself, we'll never know the exact reason why. Let's hope she just found a better job.
Yeah, so we found out why. Now.
So she resigned due to being tokenized, marginalized, and discriminated against. Specifically, as like Jason Schreier puts it, he does a good recap in this next tweet. Jen O'Neill was made co-leader of Blizzard following sexual discrimination lawsuits this summer, and resigned 2 weeks ago. The main reason she was brought forward is to prove women are not being paid less.
Yeah.
She was being paid less, and in her email she even pointed out, I'm being paid less. This is the exact reason why what you're doing is wrong.
Yeah, she was used as the shield, like, hey, we have a girl in here, don't you see? But she was also being fucked with, unfortunately.
Activision Blizzard was sued this summer for, among other things, paying women less than men. In response, they ousted Blizzard's president and replaced him with 2 new co-leaders, a man and a woman. They then paid the woman less than the man, is what she is claiming in her email.
Yeah.
Let us continue. I think we're about halfway through the news headlines I have here.
Just for Activision.
So a headline came out that some Activision Blizzard shareholders were calling on Bobby Kotick to resign, and the board's 2 longest-serving dictators, Brian Kelly and Robert Morgado, to retire by the end of the year. The shareholders sent a letter to the board of directors this morning. I, not knowing the shareholders, Jason Schreier put into context. The group SOC owns only 4.8 million shares, which is 0.6 of Activision Blizzard.
They're nobodies.
So even though they're calling for him to resign, they've been criticizing Kotick for a long time.
Yeah.
It's probably at the moment when this happens, it's not going to do much. He kind of clarified this because a lot of people were going like, "Whoa, shareholders are calling for him to resign. This is a big deal." But he kind of put it into context. At the moment, no, it is not a big deal. Yeah. But hey, we're not done.
No, we're not.
After all of this stuff had kind of hit the fan, next day, Activision Blizzard held an all hands meeting where the leadership doubled down to defend Bobby Kotick.
Yeah. Woo! All right.
Despite this having come to light, they're still saying, no, we're keeping him there. I think it was Jim Ryan was the next one. I have the other.
Well, I just wanted to add an addendum to that. Kotaku did some of the finest work I've ever seen by being like, these 9 people are wanting to protect Kotick. Let's meet them, and then put their pictures up and who they are and what they represent for every single one.
That was a great article. Yeah, let's meet the people defending Bobby Kotick right now. That was fantastic. So
yeah.
After that one, I don't think I have the Jim Ryan one here, but anyways, Jim Ryan, head of Sony and PlayStation, basically came out and said, we are seriously going to be considering our kind of working relationship with Activision, and the way they are handling this is not okay. So you had Jim Ryan calling him out. Following that, Xbox boss Phil Spencer joined the chorus of industry professionals criticizing Activision Blizzard, telling staff in an email that Xbox is evaluating all aspects of our relationship with the publisher. Now you got 2 platform holders not happy with Activision.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big deal. Like,
huge.
We're getting up there. And then the last thing I saw that the article I have pulled up for us in our doc says more than 700, but I have seen articles since more than 1,000 Activision Blizzard workers have signed a petition to drop Bobby Kotick as CEO. This place is imploding. It's pretty crazy to see. I ask you guys, does it happen?
If their stock keeps going down like it has, I think it's currently down 10%.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. Yes, because eventually, if the bottom line gets hurt hard enough, the shareholders will actually put on pressure.
Bobby Kotick has been with Activision.
How much money but how much money he has made that company, and the shareholders will definitely make it difficult.
Yeah, that's the thing to remember. If you don't know, Bobby Kotick kind of came in when Activision wasn't doing too hot. He's been there since like NES games were coming out. And he turned it into the juggernaut that Activision is. So, he makes them a lot of money. Also, keep in mind, no matter what happens to his title of CEO, he will be fine.
Yeah. He'll even probably be paid out to leave, even.
He has a golden parachute. This is a classic example of a golden parachute.
The problem is that rich people don't ever get what they deserve.
For sure. Do you think he gets ousted? What do you think?
So I'm going to say yes, only because I want it so bad. Not even necessarily, even at this point, that it would make a better I hope Activision just dies as a company completely, but I know that won't happen. If he doesn't, it just sets a hugely terrible precedence for future.
For sure. I'm super curious kind of where this goes. Think of PlayStation. They have funding or advertising deals with Call of Duty right now. They're the current Call of Duty people, right? It used to be Xbox, now it's PlayStation. I'm curious to see what the fallout is. I think they do let him go.
Yeah.
Knowing that he'll be fine. He'll know that he'll be fine.
Yep.
Part of me thinks though, he's sitting in those boardrooms being like, you fuckers, I got dirt on all you fuckers. If I'm going down, I'm bringing you down with me. And he's doing it.
Probably does. That's the thing. I'm gonna be pessimistic. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Well,
I think Paul was right in the fact that rich people don't rat on rich people unless they've got something really, really juicy.
I don't get how this motherfucker isn't like thrown in a gulag somewhere though. There's evidence that he's been to Epstein's child molestation island. There's evidence that other people that are protecting him have been apparently as well. Like, how the fuck are these people even around right now? How are they not thrown in a hole somewhere?
That's money for you, man. That's capitalism for you, man.
That's capitalism, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy to think of. Like, I'm curious to see if there's like a mass exodus of employees at Activision.
So, okay, let me make this a little more personal for the three of us. If they don't out him and Activision is still around, can you ever buy an Activision game again?
Well, so that's the thing. When I hear stuff like this, every time without fail, I hear the smaller developers saying, it doesn't, even if you don't buy our game, the CEOs are still going to make the same amount of money because they're guaranteed the money. So all you're doing is all those hours I crunched were for nothing. You know, right. I hear this a lot with like crunch and stuff.
But here's the thing.
I just won't buy the game for solidarity.
Here's the thing. Even when Activision Blizzard let go a whole shitload of people when they were doing well, just so that they would look like they were doing better than they were. They don't, either way, they're fucking over people that worked hard. So like,
for sure,
what do you even
regardless,
do?
Like, when I don't want to be like saying like we have to keep buying these games. This is a personal choice.
Totally.
The one I'm always hearing is saying I won't buy their game to support, the low developer, so I can get back at Bobby Kotick. Is Bobby Kotick is going to get his percentage regardless, and all you're doing is maybe like preventing like a bonus or something that the low person might not get because the sales are down. You're actually, unfortunately, you end up hurting the wrong person, the person you're trying to help.
Yeah, this is the shitty thing about it.
So, I mean, I wouldn't really advise either way, but like, I probably still would buy Overwatch 2, I guess, if I was making my decision.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know though. Like, I mean, I'm not saying I'm a fan of Bobby Kotick. I'm definitely not saying that.
Yeah, no. I don't know. If he is not outed, this sets such a bad precedence just for the industry at large, human rights in general. Like, this is real bad.
I genuinely hope this is the push that finally makes unionization possible.
That's what I'm hoping for too.
Everyone just being so pissed off about this situation.
Yeah, and you keep hearing it at more and more companies. This is just like the biggest example of it, but like we hear this at Ubisoft, we hear this at Riot, like it's over and over again.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Like I want to say like find a better job, but sometimes you can't.
That's not how that works. Yeah.
Job hunting sucks. Like I've been there, so you know, there's definitely people that like are probably feeling a bit trapped and whatnot, and my heart goes out to them, and I'm so curious to see though the fallouts from this. Like what more does Phil Spencer and Xbox make a stand with? What does Jim Ryan and PlayStation make a stand with? Like what else? Like, because right now they basically just said they're disappointed and they don't agree and they don't like what's going on.
Yeah, they need to take action.
What tangible thing actually comes from that, for sure.
Totally.
I'm so curious because like nothing like this has happened before, or I should say to this extent.
Yeah, I don't know. Crazy. It's a hard position.
Yeah. Let's do the impossible pivot into something fun. The Game Awards nominees came out this week.
Yeah, they
and
did.
We enjoy going through and making predictions. Hey, I said it's the impossible pivot. There was no way to.
You're right.
He did not lie.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
I did want to save this to the end, though, because this typically does take longer. I think we're going to skip questions this week because this episode's already going to be long, so we will save questions for next week.
Sure.
But the Game Awards have a bunch of nominees.
I have them ready.
Let's do some predictions. John, you ready?
All right, let's do it.
All right. Best esports event, starting low, going high.
I'm telling you right now, anything esports, I'm passing on. Like, I just don't even.
I just take a random guess. We usually keep score, right? Are we tracking?
I am
this
tracking.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hang on. Which category did you start with?
Best esports event, the very last one. Okay. League of Legends, Dota, PUBG Mobile, specifically Valorant, PGL.
PGL Major Stockholm 2021.
I didn't even hear about this. So
what is that? Is PGL Major?
Isn't that matters. Golf?
No, that's not. PGL.
Counter-Strike. It's Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike, yeah.
Okay, Counter-Strike. Which one? I'm just gonna go League.
PGL Major Stockholm 2021 broke all viewership records in CS:GO history.
Okay, but what does that mean for like other games? Like, is the international still bigger?
It means they did half of Dota. Like, I don't know.
I'll go international. Let's go international.
Okay,
I'll go international. I guess. Sure.
All right, let's make it a clean sweep. We'll all put our eggs in Dota's basket. Okay, best esports coach. We got Silent Eng Baldy or Blade.
That's Blade.
I think it's Blade.
I've never. Baldy is better. Crowder or Kakoma. I'm gonna go Kakoma because I like his name best.
I was gonna say Kakoma. He's the only one smiling. All these other guys are so angry.
Eng. I just like Eng's just apathetic look.
Eng.
All right.
That guy looks
his name
like
being Eng. So that's my vote.
Okay. All right, pretty good.
Okay, more esports, good. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say Blade's the one who actually looks like he's actually coaching though.
He's the angriest one.
Blade's the only one wearing a headset.
Okay, best esports team.
I'm gonna go Team Spirit because they look. That looks fun. They look like they're having a good time.
Okay.
I guess Sentinels look like they're having a good time too.
Yeah, let's go with Team Spirit.
I will also choose Spirit.
All right.
Athlete.
Oh God.
Simp, Showmaker, Collapse, Simple, or Tens.
Have you heard of any of these people?
No.
I'm gonna go to Showmaker because I appreciate a thumbs up and a photo.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Simple because he looks like he's showing off 1 million awards.
I mean, that's
fair. Or
fair.
they might be coffee mugs, which actually makes it even funnier.
I was also gonna go with Simple, but let's make it even more simple and go Simp. Okay.
Don't need those extra letters.
Who needs them when you're this good? Best esports game. Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, Dota, League, or Valorant?
See, I'm not going to say it's Call of Duty. I saw the headline this last week coming out of some sales numbers for Vanguard in Europe. Down 40% from the last Call of Duty game.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know, Valorant.
I'm going to guess Valorant as well, yeah.
I'm with you.
Okay. Valorant. Okay.
Most anticipated game presented by Prime Gaming. This is a hard category. These are 5 major games.
Okay, so for people listening, the 5 games are Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Starfield.
Like, it's crazy to think like that God of War is like the least hyped game out of these 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care about Starfield. I'm much more hyped for God of War, but yeah, in general.
I feel like it's Elden Ring or Breath of the Wild. I think I'm going to say Elden Ring.
Okay. I'm saying Elden Ring for sure.
I don't know. I know people are going bananas for anything Zelda and Starfield as well. It's one of those three for sure. Maybe Elden Ring will just take it because it's so close. Like it's the actual tangible one. I guess Forbidden West is as well, but there's no way that
Forbidden West, yeah, it's not in the same
I
ballpark.
feel like Forbidden West and God of War are like they're just happy to be here. Thanks for including us. Yeah, let's go Elden Ring.
This next one is very hard as well. Best debut indie.
Oh, jeez.
The Artful Escape, The Forgotten City, Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, Sable, and Valheim.
You know, I bet it's actually Valheim.
I think
the popularity.
I also think it's Valheim.
Despite it being like my least interested one, personally.
I recognize these games vaguely, but I feel I've heard Valheim more, so I'll say Valheim.
Sure.
I'd hope you would recognize. I've talked about the majority of them on this podcast.
I know you talked about Artful Escape. I know you talked about Kenna, or I've seen Kenna at like so many events.
Actually,
the other two I don't
Paul's
recognize.
talked about Kenna.
I have. Okay. All right. Content Creator of the Year. I know two of these people. Dream, Fusely, Gaules, Ebai, Abay, I don't know. Or Greg, Gravika.
Yeah, apparently at least two of these are not English speakers.
Yeah, Grevka is Spanish or Portuguese, one of the biggest content creators actually in the world that nobody in English knows. And I'm surprised Dream is on here because he's been
I only know Dream because of all the controversies he keeps getting in.
I was going to say, he's been in bad things for cheating and being racist as fuck, so I'm surprised he's in here.
Doesn't that mean he'll probably win?
If anything, I think people will show up to not vote for him.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, good point.
I'm going to go with...
Fusely is great, by the way. Leslie, she is adorable. She's really good, but, I mean, also a kid content creator for the most part. Like,
hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Sure, I just wonder who's like voting for stuff is the thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know any of these people. I was gonna pick Dream because that's a fun picture, but hearing that he's a piece of shit, I'll go with Ebai.
Okay, I don't know him at all. Grefk. I'm also gonna go. Yeah, I'm also gonna go with him because, yeah,
it's cool hair.
I also think he'll win because he's apparently huge in a way that's like unfathomable.
This next one was a weird selection of games.
Yeah, this one is a bit weird. Best multiplayer: Back 4 Blood, Knockout City,
Knockout City.
It Takes Two, Monster Hunter Rise, New World, and Valheim.
What the fuck?
That's real weird.
Honestly, I think it'll go to It Takes Two. I think it deserves it. I'm shocked that Knockout City is on this list.
That is one of the I'm just happy to be here.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That is thank you for remembering I exist. Thank you.
That game's good.
I know it's like Knockout has said good things, so
I played a bunch of it and then completely forgot it existed.
I'm gonna guess Valheim.
I'm gonna say Monster Hunter, honestly, because I feel Monster Hunter usually gets a nod for that.
Yeah, fair. I'm gonna give it to Valheim myself. All right. Another weird category usually. Best sports / racing. F1 2021. FIFA.
This is insane.
FIFA 22. Forza Horizon 5, Hot Wheels Unleashed, and Riders Republic.
Forza Horizon 5. I think this
Forza Horizon 5. Yeah.
I'm
in the bag.
I'm with you guys on this one for sure. Okay, best. This
next one is a classic insane category of nonsense. Why even have this? Here's 5. Yep. This is the here's 5 games we wanted to mention category.
Yeah, best sim / strategy game. All right, stay with me here. Age of Empires 4, Evil Genius 2 World Domination, Humankind, Inscription, Microsoft Flight Simulator.
And Inscription should have been best indie or best debut or something like that.
It is definitely
debut, though.
It is definitely a best indie nominee. Spoiler alert.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's the only one that I actually know what was nominated for this year so far.
I think Age of Empires 4 probably takes it.
I'm thinking Age of Empire 4 as well. I've heard good things.
Yeah, I played a bit of it, just not enough to want to talk about it yet on the show. It is a solid Age of Empires for sure.
I'll say Humankind, the one that's least likely to win.
Oh, here we go, the Nintendo category.
So there was a funny mention somebody did of 12 minutes should be under
12
best.
minutes should be in this. Yeah.
Anyways, best family game. It Takes Two, Mario Party Superstars, New Pokemon Snap, Super Mario 3D World, and Bowser's Fury. WarioWare Get It Together.
This is interesting. I'm actually not even sure what would take it.
I'm going to say Mario Party because it's the newest and everyone's kind of been going crazy for it.
Okay.
Really, I feel like I'm not hearing a ton about it. I feel like I want to lean almost It Takes Two or New Pokemon Snap.
I would be stunned. I know I've heard good things if It Takes Two, but I would be stunned if it beat 4 Nintendo games, to be perfectly honest.
I'm going to guess
I'll
It Takes Two.
I liked It Takes Two more than the rest of these games.
I mean, that's fair, but like it's jokingly called the Nintendo category for a reason.
Yeah. So okay, so you want to lock in It Takes Two for you?
Just don't know if I really believe it'll win.
I mean, I'm putting that myself, so I also don't know.
Sure, put It Takes Two.
Cool. Best fighting game. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba The Hinokami Chronicles, Guilty Gear Strive, Melty Blood Type Lumina, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, and Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown.
Ooh, I'm gonna say Strive because that got a lot of positive buzz and it set some records. But Melty Blood's also really good. I'll stick with Strive.
Okay. I haven't really heard much about any of these. So I'll go Strive, I guess. I think I've heard.
All right, so we're all guessing before. That. Cool. Best role-playing game where you play a role, starting with Cyberpunk 2077.
Ah, yes.
Monster Hunter Rise, Scarlet Nexus, Shin Megami Tensei 5, and Tales of Arise.
I'm going Tales of Arise. There's no way it wins, but it deserves to win. Come on.
Ooh. If it had come out more recently, I would say Shin Megami Tensei 5, but
it did come out recently. It came out like 2 weeks ago.
Sorry, if it came out farther back, I meant. Sorry, the other way around. Okay. If it had been out for a while longer.
I'm guessing Cyberpunk.
You really think so? With how poorly that got received? I'd honestly say Rise at this point. I think it'll probably go to Tales of Arise, but I'm going to say Monster Hunter Rise because at least it's more popular.
Okay. Best action/adventure game. We got Guardians of the Galaxy, Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
This is a tough category, yeah.
I'm going to guess Dread.
I personally think it would come down to Dread or Ratchet and Clank. What do you guys think?
I think Resident Evil would be in the running because people were really positive about that when it came out, but it's also the oldest out of the 5.
I
don't think Guardians wins this.
I don't think Guardians has this either. I think this list is too strong. I honestly...
I could see Psychonauts even, actually.
See, the way I have it like set up in my head is like Dread and Ratchet are 1 and 2. Like either I can't figure out which one it is.
Okay.
Resident Evil is like a lock at 3, Psychonauts, and then Guardians. I feel like that's just how it is.
I'm with Sean in that I think it is between Dread and Rift Apart.
I guess Dread. I didn't play Rift Apart, so I have no basis on
Rift Apart was really good, but it's also a Ratchet and Clank game.
But it was huge for the PlayStation, showing off the SSD.
Yeah, but I feel like after the game came out, the buzz kind of died on that. I'm gonna go with Dread. but I feel like Ratchet and Clank has a solid chance of taking
I'll
it.
go Ratchet then, since I'll go the one you guys aren't going.
Okay.
Yep.
Best action game. Back 4 Blood, Chivalry 2, Death Loop, Far Cry 6, or Returnal.
Bet Deathloop takes
I
it.
think it's Death Loop as well.
Deathloop.
Hey, I can have an opinion in this one. Best VR/AR game. Hitman 3, I Expect You to Die 2, Lone Echo 2, Resident Evil 4, Sniper Elite VR, RE4.
Probably RE4.
I bet it's RE4. I think it's crazy that Hitman 3 is in here.
I think it's crazy that Resident Evil 4 is in here, to be fair.
People really
Yeah.
liked that version. I kept hearing good things about it. Is Hitman 3 anywhere else? As if not, that sucks.
It's on like PS5 and stuff. Or do you mean the only like entry it is in the
Yeah,
Game
is it
Awards?
in any other categories is my question.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Probably not.
That's a bummer.
Maybe it's in Innovation and Accessibility presented by Chevrolet. Far Cry 6. Forza Horizon 5. That's a little weirdly biased. Guardians of the Galaxy, Ratchet and Clank, and The Veil, Shadow of the Crown. That is an odd option.
So I'll tell you why you're wrong on two fronts here. First off, The Veil is an audio only game.
Okay.
And another one, Forza Horizon 5, I think actually wins this. They are, I'm not sure if it's in yet, but there's at least a video out. They are putting in sign language into the game for all the audio. So there will be a person in the corner putting sign language as well. You can slow that game down, all the physics entirely, and play it at a slower speed as an accessibility feature, which is pretty crazy. The amount of accessibility in Forza Horizon 5 is bananas, and I think that wins it.
That's pretty neat. Let me counter with you can't turn on photosensitivity mode for the lighting effects in that game, so you could have a seizure playing it at night.
Is that true?
Yes, because there's a certain phenomenon that happens when light is like shining through trees or something, and you're getting that weird like blinking of shadow and light, like as you're driving. That like triggers something in me that makes me feel dizzy, and it's like a rare thing, and you can't turn anything off to deal with that.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Ratchet and Clank. So back when accessibility was becoming a big thing, Spider-Man and Insomniac had a lot of good stuff. Ratchet and Clank has pretty much the exact same options that Spider-Man had. And Guardians of the Galaxy has all of the things that Spider-Man had. So
wow.
So they're both kind of high up there. I am probably gonna say Forza, but I would not be shocked if Ratchet and Clank took it.
Okay. What the fuck did Far Cry 6 do? Do any of us know?
I don't know specifically, but Ubisoft's all their games kind of have a lot of accessibility at this point. Like kind of how a lot of their games are the same. They
just kind of like built
a lot
in
of those systems. Yeah.
Sure. You know what? I'll say The Veil. That's an interesting answer. Let's see what happens.
I want to play it just to kind of experience what that thing is.
Sure. Best community support. Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, or No Man's Sky.
Ooh, No Man's Sky's there.
Yeah, I know, right?
I was gonna say that's 14 by a landslide, but now it's like,
I think it's still 14.
14 is like the gamer's choice. Fortnite, they put like the craziest events and stuff in their games, though. Like, I just don't feel like it'll be a popular choice. You know what I mean?
Final Fantasy 14 literally has a week-long convention that people join online all week for.
I think that's gonna win it.
I think so too.
I'll stick with 14.
Best mobile game presented by Verizon. Fantasian, Genshin Impact, League of Legends Wild Rift, Marvel Future Revolution, and Pokemon Unite.
Are the Genshin Impact fans happy with the game currently, or are they still mad with it? Because that literally dictates if Genshin wins or loses.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know.
Either way, I'm picking Genshin Impact.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go with Genshin too.
The only other one I would consider above this is Pokemon Unite.
I don't know anything about Fantasia, but I know the others are probably not.
Marvel Future Revolution is fucking awesome. That's my guess also.
Fantasia is a Final Fantasy-like that is on Apple Arcade.
Yeah. That's the only one I haven't played of these because I can't. Knowingly. All right. Best Indie. This is
4 extremely strong games and one that shouldn't be in here.
So, starting off, 12 minutes. Death's Door. Inscription. Kenna, Bridge of Spirits. And Loop Hero.
Those are some great choices. Oh, no.
This is real hard.
I feel like Kenna does not make the cut. And then those
I don't think 12 minutes doesn't make the cut.
Oh, 12 minutes should not be in this list.
Yeah, this is... I don't know why 12 minutes is even mentioned, frankly, but sure.
Death's Door got a ton of fanfare. Inscription is still getting a ton of fanfare. And Loop Hero was huge at the beginning of the year.
So here's the thing. Do people vote for something interesting or something that's just like a good all-around video? Death's Door wins just being a good all-around video game that's easily accessible by anybody. Inscription and Loop Hero are infinitely more interesting as video games, but I could see people falling off of them.
I feel like the highs, in terms of the hype, were higher for Inscription and Loop Hero than Death's Door.
Oh, I mean, maybe in your circles, nobody I know knows about Inscription at all.
Oh, yeah, I'm seeing tons of people in my Twitter talking about how cool Inscription
is. Oh, you mean in games media? Yeah, of course.
So I feel like because Inscription's so recent, it's got the biggest chance.
It
my
would be
heart
a shame.
goes to Loop Hero.
Yeah.
My gut says Inscription.
Do you want to follow your gut or your heart?
I think it was announced early today, Loop Hero for Switch coming out December 9th, which is the day before I fly up to Canada and start doing some road trips up there. So that's perfect for me.
I'm going Inscription.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Inscription as well.
Why is this not filling? There we go.
One thing to kind of note, though, it is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 of those are Devolver Digital, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Devolver Digital, a publicly trading company now.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still indie?
Yeah, of course it is.
It's publicly trading.
So?
Okay.
The genre of games they still deal in are indie, so as a result, it is indie.
Well, this is published by Microsoft.
I wouldn't say genre, but like it's weird. Indie's almost like a tone and a vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like if there's any company that has not changed the way they act, it's Devolver.
There's people out there that would argue anything that's nominated for the VGAs is not indie, and you have to go on to itch.io and play Flash games for indie. So
I mean, they've got a point.
They're more right than we are if you want to go be technical about it, because yeah, something released by one dude in his basement is definitely indie, and you can't deny that. I chose Death's Door as my option.
Okay.
Because I'm hoping the unwashed masses vote, and instead of people that actually play games and want interesting stuff. All right. Best ongoing. What is this? Oh, okay. These are similar to the community. Apex, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Genshin, and Call of Duty Warzone.
I think with the expansion coming out for Final Fantasy 14, it's gonna be Final Fantasy 14.
I agree.
Yeah, I think it's just 14 again.
Yeah, I agree. Games for Impact. Thought-provoking pro-social message games for anybody who doesn't remember. Before Your Eyes, Boyfriend Dungeon, Chicory, A Colorful Tale, Life is Strange, True Colors, and No Longer Home. I've only played one of these.
I heard a lot of good things about Chicory.
Yeah, that's where I'm leaning, is Chicory.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say Chicory.
I have not heard of Before Your Eyes.
I've never heard of No Longer Home.
That sounds.
No,
that was the other one I haven't
you have
heard.
definitely heard of Before Your Eyes because didn't you choose it as one of the games for TDP Plus 1 month? It's the one where it like.
Oh, the one
you
that
have to
falls
look
on
at
your
it.
webcam. Oh, you're
Yeah.
right. Yes, I was about to say like the name sounds familiar, but I have not played it.
I haven't
I have
either.
heard that one, yeah. That's yeah. I want to say it's Chicory. There's a lot of fanfare around that one. I wouldn't be surprised if Life is Strange took it because this one was really well received.
Sure. I'm just gonna put
but
the
I think
one I played
Chicory.
because it feels weird to just guess blindly for me. So, Boyfriend Dungeon, I choose. Best performance. Oh my god, I'm gonna butcher some names here. Erica Mori as Alex Chen from Life is Strange True Colors. Giancarlo Esposito as Anton Castillo from Far Cry 6. Jason Kelly as Colt Vaughn from Deathloop. Maggie Robertson as Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village. Oh, I'm going to feel so bad about this.
You've been doing so good.
Ozioma Akaga as Juliana Blake from Deathloop.
I think it's either of the Deathloop people.
Yeah, both of the Deathloop performances are really good.
They're
Agreed.
so good.
Yep, agreed.
I'm going to give it Jason Kelly just because I heard more from him in my time playing it.
Okay.
Both of them are
This
so
is tough.
good.
I unfortunately, I don't think Erica, I don't think Life is Strange has it.
No.
Giancarlo might have it based on everyone remembering him from
His
Breaking
name's
Bad.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I mean, Maggie Robertson might take it because people be horny.
Yeah, it's true. I'm also thinking that. I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna stick with. I'm gonna go with Sean on this one. Jason Kelly, Colt.
I don't necessarily know if he deserves it or not. I'm going to go Giancarlo just because of the name recognition.
Okay.
And also, I think he might be like the big reason why a lot of people even bought that game. We will see.
It's interesting. I was hearing because it wasn't really like critically received very well. Far Cry 6 sold fantastically.
Yeah, that sounds like a Ubisoft game. That sounds about right. Best audio design: Deathloop, Forza Horizon 5, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, and Returnal.
I actually don't really know.
I don't feel like the sound design was like amazing in Deathloop compared to the others that I've seen.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think back and like nothing's really jumping out at me. The only one that jumps out to me is Returnal, but it's because I played it so recently.
Yeah, I haven't played Rift Apart or Returnal, so I'm at a disadvantage.
Rift Eternal did good, like when you're warping through using like surround sound and like Dolby surround to just kind of tell how far away you are from things, or like when you're going through portals. But I don't know if I would really jump on it as the best out of these 5.
See, I can't see Returnal winning it, but it's the only one that jumps.
I can't see Forza winning it because it's mainly the soundtrack and I guess the sound of the vehicles.
I mean, I could see Village winning it. It has
That's
good.
The one I have no idea. So
yeah, I mean, it has horror game sound design. A lot of the scary stuff is because of sound, right? So
and the acting and everything like that, and because it's all first person, you can tell that they're moving around. I'm gonna say Village.
Yeah, I'm going to.
I'm gonna say Returnal.
Okay. Best score and music: The Artful Escape, Cyberpunk 2077, Deathloop, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Nier Replicant version 1.2247444871139.
Guardians is mainly just 80s music, although, like I said, the Star-Lord album is pretty good. Cyberpunk had a similar thing, didn't it? Where it was mostly, there was a bunch of copywritten music, and then there was the non-copywritten soundtrack side.
Yeah, I think it also had like a streamer mode. Yeah. I'm giving it to The Artful Escape.
I like Deathloops a lot. That's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to play it in the first place, but I think Nier. I'm going to say Nier.
Oh, wow. Okay, I was not expecting that. My poor boy Nier. Nobody remembers you.
What are you saying, Paul?
I I don't know, dude. I'm gonna go with Nier 2. We need to stick together in these times.
See, I haven't even played Nier, but I know that soundtrack kind of gets praised. So,
well, I know the second one or
second one gets praised a lot, and I think that might give it some.
Does.
Yeah, that might give it some heft and carry.
There's good sound music in the other one too. So yes. Best art direction. Artful Escape, Deathloop, Kena Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Come on, Psychonauts 2. Come on.
Yeah,
this is like the category.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Psychonauts 2.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement with that for sure. Best narrative. Deathloop, It Takes Two, Life is Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy, Psychonauts 2.
I bet Deathloop takes it.
I'm thinking
I don't think it's Guardians of the Galaxy as much as I was enjoying it.
I'm also thinking Deathloop.
I almost want to say it might be It Takes Two.
That was also in my head.
I doubt it. I feel like the gameplay is really the thing that's it's doing outstandingly.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'll shift. I'll go with Deathloop as well. Might kick myself if it was actually Takes Two.
Best game direction.
Here we go. I'm gonna pick It Takes Two.
So it's Deathloop, It Takes Two, Returnal, Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
I think I'm going to say Psychonauts.
Okay, sure.
That's a strong one for sure.
I'm going to say probably Deathloop.
Here we go, the final.
Game of the Year. Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank, and Resident Evil Village.
I am so shocked that Psychonauts 2 is in this, and I'm very happy for that. I have no idea what I think they would pick.
This is a tough one. These are good games.
I don't understand why Village is up here.
Okay.
It's a great game, but fuck.
You think Dread should be up here?
Yes. I think Dread wins this.
Dread.
You think Dread wins this? I don't know. I think it might be too hard at some points for some people. There were a lot of complaints about difficulty, and I think that's going to hold it back.
I mean, I already put Dread for me, so.
I loved Rift Apart, but I don't know if I'd put it in Game of the Year running.
I was a little surprised that that was here, but I mean, I kind of see why it was nominated for a bunch of other stuff, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think Psychonauts 2 is a terrible guess here, honestly. It was different enough.
I would be shocked. I just don't see it happening.
I don't think it appeals to enough people. Yeah, as interesting as it is, I don't think it appeals enough. I don't think It Takes Two isn't it either. So I think in my mind, it's either Dread or Deathloop.
I could see Deathloop taking it. Yeah.
See, I was gonna say Deathloop or Ratchet. I just feel like a lot of family-friendly games usually don't take it though.
Is that true historically? Family-friendly games don't usually?
I mean, was it Breath of the Wild took it? And that might be the most family-friendly that's won it.
But yeah, but that's almost like an outstanding one because that game is so spectacular, right?
I mean, obviously some people think so if they voted for it, so yes. I mean, I don't necessarily think Resident Evil couldn't be this, but I'm in a weird section of people that maybe expected more from it.
As much as I wanted to be Dread, my gut says it's probably Deathloop. But if Dread takes it, I'll be very happy.
Okay, I'll put you down for Deathloop.
I'm saying Deathloop, yeah.
I think that's a good guess, honestly.
Yeah, I think I would love it to be Psychonauts. I would love to see Psychonauts take it, but every time I want to pick it, it's like there's just no way.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like,
there's a block in your mind that's like, no, there's no way. Yeah.
Yeah, Deathloop.
Okay. All right.
Okay. That'll be news. We'll again for those who are watching the Game Awards, that's December 9th, so we'll come back and see how we all did. That's news. We'll save questions for next week because this is a long episode.
Yeah.
Some things to keep. Oh, so what's your guys' game of the week?
Oh my god, I have a lot to pick from.
It's Halo.
Forza.
Oh, it feels bad saying Final Fantasy VII First Soldier, but I guess I'm doing it.
New poll or December's TDP Plus poll is live, so go vote on that right now. And if you are a TBP listener, get excited for Monday when our next episode about Ghostbusters drops. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next week for a post Thanksgiving episode. Later.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.